This is a question that relates to the large data set. So we've got 4 pie charts illustrating the proportion of employees and the different methods of transport that they've taken in 4 local authorities in 2011. We have to state with reasons which of the 4 is most likely to be a rural area with many hills. Now, the thing about these sorts of questions is that there's sometimes more than one answer because in reality, with lots of data, you're trying to make conclusions, but you can't be exactly sure. So I kind of like that aspect, even though, there's like in maths, people say, oh, there's just this one answer, but this kind of goes to show in statistics and in other areas of math, it's not always the case. So I went with C on this one. I just looked at it and I thought, right, there's a high amount of private, and we do have to give reasons. And the other reason, because I know a lot of them, other ones have high private, is that there's a low bicycle count. In fact, this is the smallest one. Okay, and that was deemed okay by the mark scheme. I'll just show you the mark scheme. So low bicycle and high private, there I am down there. Or you could have gone with B, low bicycle, low public, or low bicycle and high private. It does say reasons, so I was expecting two. Or A, high private and low public. So these were all accepted. So D was not accepted because there's a lot of public transport here. In B, we're asked to explain why pie charts are more suitable for answering the above question than bar charts. So pie charts are all about the proportion. Bar charts will tell you about the number of people, but that's not really what this is about. You might have like you can get large cities, small cities, villages, and so on, like large expanses of rural areas and so on. So it's much better to look at proportions. Pie charts compare proportions. Two of the local authorities represent urban areas. State with the reason why, which two are likely to be urban. Okay, so for urban areas, we're going to get a lot of public transport. And so D is jumping out as that. And then C is second. So these were the two that were expected, no other options were allowed. And the reason would be high public transportation. Finally, C part two. One urban local authority introduced a park and ride service. Users drive to the edge and then they take buses into the center. A student claims that a comparison of the corresponding pie charts, which are not shown, for 2006 and these ones in 2011 would enable us to identify which local authority this was. State the reason whether you agree. Now, this question properly requires you to have used the large data set. We can kind of get by to some extent with the other ones. I must admit, I haven't spent a lot of time on it. So these are not strong questions for me. So actually, I didn't have any idea how to do this one. Um, Actually, what it turns out, if you study the large data set, is that, and I'm quoting this from the answers now, it says that the method of travel used is going to be the one used for the longest part of the journey. So when you're doing park and ride, you're probably driving quite far to get to the park and ride, and the park and ride is just taking you a short distance. Method of travel. So what that means is that people would still put car down even if they're then taking the park and ride rather than public transport. So park. And I haven't actually quite finished this off, have I? So therefore, I disagree with the student. Who won't be able to tell the difference. or we won't be able to distinguish. All right, definitely awkward, that one.